LuoFeng had already acquired the 4 black metal plates before. With this new information pouring in, the information regarding the 9 tribulations manuals in his mind was immediately complete. Only after acquiring the entire 9 tribulations manuals did LuoFeng realize in shock just how mystical this manual was. Unbelievable. The golden horned beast closed its eyes. Within his consciousness, the words regarding the 9 tribulation manuals floated about. Countless words formed this manual. Even without looking at the contents, just the combination of the countless words was like a huge engraving diagram. Every word was a part of the engraving diagram, naturally forming an engraving diagram that was even more complex and perfect than the miniature universe engraving diagram. Simply unbelievable. The contents of a manual can actually form an engraving diagram? I've never even heard of it before. LuoFeng was shocked. He too understood that this was completely because the 9 tribulation manuals had reached such a high level. The closer one got to the mysteries of the universe origin laws, the more mysterious it would be. Like the beast god, his body was the embodiment of the origin laws. The 9 tribulation manuals were directly rejected by the universe origin laws. Even if it was created, it couldn't be passed down. Luckily, Mountain Guest used the Heaven Soul Crystal to carry it, allowing him to pass down this heaven-defying manual. And he could only pass it down to one life form. Like the strongest natural abilities, they were all bestowed by the universe. However, the 9 tribulation manuals were rejected by the universe. Obviously, the 9 tribulation manuals were even stronger than the strongest natural abilities by a level. It had already reached an unbelievable level. It wasn't something a universe lord could create. The golden horned beast was stunned for a moment before the black metal board in the treasure room. Obviously, it was shocked by the complete manual. However, it quickly recovered from its shock. We can't stay in the Blood Cloud Palace for long. Let's leave quickly. The golden horned beast's god energy immediately swept up the black metal board and kept it in his world ring. After which, his gaze swept across the huge amount of rare materials, over 10,000 treasures, over 100 treasures. Rumble. An overwhelming pressure immediately descended and engulfed the entire Blood Cloud Palace. At the same time, the space within the palace was completely controlled. The space ripples immediately stopped. Not good. The golden horned beast was shocked. It's the universe lord. The golden horned beast turned its head and saw a silhouette emitting an endless killing aura in the distant corridor. He wore a blood-red battle robe and had a pair of golden horns on his head. At the same time, he wore a mask. His tail extended out from his battle robe and was waving slightly. His eyes were staring at the golden horned beast. Blood Cloud Palace leader? The golden horned beast slowly turned around, facing him from afar. So what if he was the master of the universe? Golden horned beast. The Blood Cloud leader looked at LuoFeng and walked over step by step. Your guess is right, I am the Blood Cloud leader. However, following his words, his body swiftly began to transform. The blood-red robe swiftly became a normal green armor, the pair of golden horns became 2 crystal horns, the mask disappeared and a familiar face appeared. His aura had also changed. The boundless killing aura from before had turned into an aura as vast as the sea. Teacher? The golden horned beast stared wide-eyed. The Blood Cloud leader before it had instantly transformed into his teacher Mountain Traveler. And the aura was exactly the same, not just the aura. Even the pressure that was even stronger than the Primal Chaos City leaders was the same. This was definitely something that couldn't be faked. LuoFeng. Mountain Traveler smiled and said, did you expect the 5th black metal board to end up like this? Golden horned LuoFeng blinked, recalling his conversation with his teacher Mountain Traveler back in the Beast God world. Back then LuoFeng had asked his teacher, is the 5th black metal board of the 9-level manual training? Mountain Traveler's reply back then was, no, if you could guess my methods would I still be my teacher? LuoFeng was curious back then and continued to ask. However, Mountain Traveler didn't answer back then, saying when the time comes you will know. Blood Cloud Palace, outside the main palace. Mountain Traveler stood and looked at the endless black energy in the distant space. The golden horned beast had become as tall as Mountain Traveler, almost like a winged lion standing beside him. Teacher, this Blood Cloud Palace leader is actually you. The golden horned beast spoke. No wonder the various races of the universe can't do anything to him. Back then, the Blood Cloud Palace leader that dominated the universe was merely a clone that I formed. Mountain Traveler looked at the endless space and exclaimed, even though it's just a clone, it still has the power of your Primal Chaos City leader teacher. Dominating the universe, that's enough. Then teacher, why are you using the identity of the Blood Cloud Palace leader? The golden horned beast's eyes were filled with suspicion. With Mountain Traveler's strength, who would dare mess with him? If he wanted to take revenge, he could just do it openly. Because of you. Mountain Traveler said. Me? The golden horned beast was stunned. Right? Mountain Traveler nodded. Accurately speaking, this identity of the Blood Cloud Palace leader is something I've prepared for my 3rd disciple. No matter who is able to meet my requirements, he will inherit the position of the Blood Cloud Palace leader. Blood Cloud Palace leader? Inherit? The golden horned beast's eyes stared wide. Down. His teacher was a troublemaker. The identity of the Blood Cloud Palace leader was a madman with enemies all over the universe. All the big powers wanted to kill him. Hearing his teacher's words, it seemed like he wanted it to inherit the position. Back then when I trained your 2nd senior brother, it was the same. Mountain Traveler exclaimed, I created a new identity early on. Northern Prison leader. When your second senior brother's strength is enough, I'll let him inherit the position of Northern Prison leader. What? The golden horned beast was even more shocked. Blood Cloud Palace leader, Northern Prison leader. They were both clones created by Mountain Traveler teacher? The Northern Prison leader was an evil super being whose fame wasn't any less than the Blood Cloud Palace leader. He had a flying palace treasure called the Northern Prison. This treasure also had the ability to suppress and seal things. This Northern Prison leader roamed the universe. The moment he fought with an enemy, he loved to trap them in the Northern Prison. If they didn't have the ability to create clones, the only way to escape would be to self-destruct. He was even older than the Blood Cloud Palace leader. He was a powerful evil being at the beginning of the universe, but he gradually disappeared. I let your second senior brother inherit the position of Northern Prison leader. Mountain Traveler shook his head. However, after countless years, he still wasn't able to satisfy me. Hence, I took back everything from the Northern Prison leader, making his position disappear forever. He no longer has the right to be the Northern Prison leader. LuoFeng was shocked within. Taking back everything from the Northern Prison leader? Your second senior brother doesn't have much hope for him anymore. Hence, I've given my all to train you. Mountain Traveler exclaimed, smiling as he looked at LuoFeng. Second senior brother has disappointed teacher. In the future, I'm afraid your disciple will disappoint teacher too. The golden horned beast lowered its head. Mountain Traveler smiled. When you can fully activate the Star Pagoda, you're already stronger than your second senior brother. The Star Pagoda. Even though its power is heavenly, the Universe Knights, Universe Lords, the strongest warriors in the universe don't even have a chance of controlling it. And the weak's willpower isn't enough. You were able to survive the life and death inheritance at the Sector Lord level, not bad. However, even though you're stronger than your second senior brother, you're still far from my goal. Mountain Traveler said. Goal? The golden horned beast turned to look at the teacher beside him. The strongest warrior in the universe. Mountain Traveler said slowly. This was the first time he revealed his thoughts to LuoFeng. When you become the strongest warrior in the universe, then I'll have succeeded. Elite Universe Overlord and 2 Universe Overlords, the treasure must have been obtained by one of them. What bad luck. If it was just one Universe Overlord we could still fight, but there are 3 and one of them is an Elite Universe Overlord. The other alien race venerables in the sky shook their heads helplessly. They didn't dare to get involved. Xavier Overlord and the Thousand Shadows Venerable could withstand Supremacy Tianhua's attack, but they, the Universe Venerables, would die if they tried. LuoFeng floated high in the air, gazing down. Who is that? I don't know, but his energy is strong and he's a lone ranger. He could very well be a Universe Overlord. Looks like this Universe Overlord is waiting for an opportunity. The other knights discussed. They were clear in this fight for the treasure from the level of the battle. They didn't even have a chance to interfere. Zawi leader, Thousand Shadows Knight, the 2 of you want my treasure too? Tianhua Knight roared, his blood red. I was incomparably mad. The treasure that has appeared this time is the godly hammer. I use it, it should be mine. If the 2 of you push me too far, don't blame me for not showing mercy. What big talk. Even though the 2 of us aren't your match to kill us, dream on. Why would the 2 of us be afraid of you? Xavier leader and Thousand Shadows were also incomparably frenzied. Xavier leader went to block time and time again. Thousand Shadows unleashed a spirit weapon that transformed into thousands of images, covering the sky and earth, crazily tangling with Tianhua Sage. Tianhua Knight could only use his huge hammer to attack again and again. Zawi leader and Thousand Shadows Knight weren't anxious at all. They were waiting for an opportunity, waiting for the treasure to fully appear and immediately snatch it. Time passed minute by minute. The 3 of them continued to fight. The other knights in the air could only watch, not daring to interfere. LuoFeng too watched quietly. Soon. The treasure is about to appear. Zawi leader and Thousand Shadows Knight's eyes gleamed. Thousand Shadows, the last chance, it's up to you. Leave it to me. Thousand Shadows Knight's eyes were filled with madness too. When it was time to fight, one had to fight madly. Treasures were obtained by fighting. The 2 of you are dreaming if you think you can get it. Tianhua Knight roared as he walked towards the treasure again and again, not wanting to stray too far from it, but Zawi leader and Thousand Shadows Knight's attacks were too strong, causing both sides to retreat each time. And at this time LuoFeng slowly descended. The treasure has appeared. It has appeared. The group of knights in the air were all excited. Wah! Venerable Tianhua, the Lord of Xavier, and the Thousand Shadows Venerable moved at the same time, and a figure pounced down from mid-air. The golden horned beast's dark golden eyes were filled with endless fighting spirit. I accept. Slaughter? The path of the strong? A new journey? It was quite interesting. You're bloodthirsty. Mountain Guest looked at the golden horned beast and smiled. Very suitable to take over the position of Blood Cloud Palace leader. After which he threw the blood red pearl in his hand, the Blood Cloud Pearl. Imprint your life force within, control the Blood Cloud Pearl. Mountain Guest said. The golden horned beast looked over. A thread of God energy swiftly enveloped the Blood Cloud Pearl in mid-air. A thread had already seeped into it, instantly recognizing it as its master. As a treasure personally crafted by Mountain Guest, the Blood Cloud Pearl didn't have any information on it, and its functions were very special and peculiar. Actually, many of the treasures Mountain Guest crafted were very special. Like the Soul Source, the Calamity Armor, these pinnacle treasures all had strict requirements for their owners. Other warriors couldn't even use them. This was a reflection of Mountain Guest's skill in crafting treasures. Who? The golden horned beast opened its mouth and the blood cloud pearl flew in. Immediately the golden horned beast's body began to change, its back limbs swiftly became longer and thicker, its chest and abdomen became more powerful, completely transforming from a crawling life form to an upright one. Its face was covered in a silver mask, and on its forehead were 2 golden horns. The scaled wings on his back quickly retracted and disappeared. Even the color of the beast god armor on his divine body was slowly changing, turning into a blood-red battle robe. A scaled tail stretched out from the battle robe. Endless killing intent emanated. Evil. Crazy. It was exactly the same as the Blood Cloud Palace leader that Mountain Guest had become. Ha! Though my Blood Cloud Pearl isn't bad, right? Mountain Guest stood at the side as though admiring a beautiful piece of art. Very mysterious. LuoFeng couldn't help but compliment, my energy and pressure are all released by the Blood Cloud Pearl. It can even change the structure of my god body, from the golden horned beast form to this form through the Blood Cloud Pearl. My strength isn't affected at all. And it can even disguise as my beast god armor. It's too mysterious. To craft a Blood Cloud Pearl, one has to kill a universe lord. Mountain Guest exclaimed, and one has to destroy the soul, leaving his god body intact. After which large amounts of materials are used with his god body, transforming it into a Blood Cloud Pearl. This allows the Blood Cloud Pearl to release a specific energy. Pressure. I can even change your divine body into a fixed structure that I've designed and disguise it as a supreme treasure. LuoFeng was stunned. The Blood Cloud Pearl was a very unique and special treasure. It did not have any direct combat power, but it was enough to make many super existences covet it. However, he did not expect the refinement requirements to be so exaggerated. First, he had to kill a master of the universe through his soul. Perhaps only the strongest people in the universe would have the confidence to do so. Remember, once you use the Star Pagoda, you must be careful. Perhaps other experts might not be able to tell if you use the Star Pagoda to attack, but if you use it to protect your life, you will definitely be exposed. Understood. LuoFeng nodded. The Star Pagoda shrunk to the size of a palm and became a conical shape. After changing its appearance slightly, it could be used as a sharp horn. However, once his life was saved, the Star Pagoda would naturally expand and LuoFeng would hide inside. At that time, the Star Pagoda would naturally be exposed. If I use it to protect myself, I'll definitely be exposed. Mountain Passenger smiled. Whether you choose to let the Blood Cloud Palace Master use the Star Tower or use your true identity, it's up to you. LuoFeng nodded. LuoFeng's true body using the Star Pagoda was exposed. The Blood Cloud Palace Master using the Star Pagoda was also exposed. Wouldn't that be telling the trillions of races in the universe? LuoFeng was the Blood Cloud Palace Master? The Blood Cloud Palace Master still has a life-saving treasure, the Blood Cloud Palace. I've just retrieved my life imprint. Mountain Passenger smiled. Right now it's yours. Blood Cloud Palace? LuoFeng turned to look. Looking at the majestic palace, he didn't hesitate and immediately infused his god energy into the ground beneath his feet. Following the life imprint, he immediately felt a sense of familiarity. The entire Blood Cloud Palace immediately seemed to become his own limbs. He could control everything within the palace. Even the treasure room from before was clearly observed. The Blood Cloud Palace is a top-grade flying palace treasure. Mountain Passenger looked at LuoFeng. It's extremely precious. You can only use it when using the identity of the Blood Cloud Palace Master. Normally when you roam the universe, you're forbidden from using it, otherwise your identity will be exposed. I hope this Blood Cloud Palace won't be retrieved by me. Mountain Passenger smiled. I'm not the second senior. LuoFeng said directly. Just like how I treated your second senior back then. Mountain Passenger smiled. I'll give you a promise too. Promise? LuoFeng listened carefully. Mountain Passenger smiled. During your universe night period, if you can kill 10 top universe overlords or a universe lord, then I'll promise, you provide the materials and I'll make a top grade treasure for you for free. Then I promise, if you provide me with the materials, I'll refine a supreme treasure for you for free. The materials needed to refine a supreme treasure are worth about 10% of the supreme treasure itself. LuoFeng's eyes gleamed. A top-grade treasure. It was enough to make the Primal Chaos City leader and the creator of the huge axe move. Back then, the bet between the Ancestor and Mountain Passenger was only at this level. If you become a Universe Lord, then the requirements will be higher. You'll have to kill 100 top Universe Overlords or 10 Universe Lords before I'll make a top-grade treasure for you for free. Mountain Passenger revealed a weird smile. The top-grade treasure I'm talking about includes top-grade domain treasures, top-grade flying palace treasures, etc. LuoFeng's eyes immediately turned red. Damn. Humanity's strongest was only at the top-grade domain treasures level. The higher your requirements, I'll give you a list of materials based on the treasures you require. Mountain Passenger mocked. Don't be too ambitious, the top-grade domain treasures, just the materials required are rare and precious, even your human race might not be able to gather them. There's definitely a way. LuoFeng was filled with fighting spirit. Remember, the requirement to become a Universe Knight is to kill 10 top Universe Overlords or 1 Universe Lord. The moment you become a Universe Lord, the requirements will be 10 times more than before. Mountain Passenger exclaimed, back then when I made this promise to your second senior, he was already a Universe Lord when he inherited the North Prison Leader position. It's a pity he never got what I asked for. LuoFeng was speechless. Kill 10 universe lords? What a difficult and demanding requirement. It wasn't something that could be killed just by being stronger. The higher the universe lord, the stronger their ability to escape. Don't even talk about universe lords, just killing the top universe overlords. Firstly, they could delay for time and even call for help, allowing a powerful being or even the strongest warrior in the universe to personally descend. After all, they all had their own backgrounds and powers. Once they felt their lives were in danger, it was normal to immediately call for help. Killing 10 universe lords? Even the strongest warrior in the universe would find it difficult and troublesome. No wonder Flame Emperor couldn't do it back then. Asking me, a universe knight, to kill 10 top universe overlords? Or 1 universe lord? LuoFeng sighed. None of the top universe overlords are easy to deal with, and they can even summon universe lords. As for universe lords, it's already not bad for me to fight them one-on-one. Kill. Difficult. Mountain Passenger's requirements were indeed difficult, but he still made a promise, and continued to tempt LuoFeng. This teacher of mine wants me to go kill. LuoFeng could naturally tell what Mountain Passenger was thinking. This is the blood cloud tag. Mountain Passenger waved his hand and threw out a blood-red tag. LuoFeng received it and immediately realized it was very similar to the one his teacher gave him to communicate with back then. After recognizing you as the owner, you can use the blood cloud tag to give orders to your 18 servants. Mountain Passenger instructed. The 18 servants are all universe lords, they too manage other special life forms. Servants? LuoFeng was curious. Back then when I created the identity of the blood cloud leader, I accidentally saved a few special life forms while roaming the universe. They begged to recognize me as their owner. I was born a special life form, hence I also protected these little punks. As time went on, the number of these little fellows under me increased. Under my guidance there were 18 universe venerables. Among them there are 3 peak universe overlords. Through the blood cloud token, you will be able to obtain some simple information about these 18. I will protect them for an indefinite amount of time. You should also take care of them to the best of your ability. Star Pagoda, Calamity Armor, Blood Cloud Palace, you've already obtained everything. Whatever teacher can do, I've already done. As for how far you can go, it's up to you. Mountain Passenger looked deeply at LuoFeng before vanishing into thin air. LuoFeng stood where he was. He could feel the anticipation in Mountain Guest's eyes, almost as though he was watching his child grow up. Mountain Guest nurtured the Flare Emperor and LuoFeng. It was obvious he really wanted to nurture the strongest disciple of the universe. There's probably some secret involved within. LuoFeng thought. Following closely, LuoFeng picked up the blood cloud tag in his hand. Teacher Mountain Passenger told him to do his best to take care of these special life forms. Naturally he had to do his best. Through the blood cloud tag, LuoFeng ordered the 18 servants to bring all the special life forms under them and rush to the blood cloud palace to meet him. The master wants to see us. Quickly. Little punks, you're lucky the master actually wants to see you. We're just sector lords, can we even see the master? The blood cloud leader controlled special life forms that occupied close to 1/6 of the Guqin secret region swiftly rushed towards the blood cloud palace. To them it was like a pilgrimage. After all, normally the blood cloud leader only communicated with the 18 knights. The other special life forms had no way of contacting him directly. After spending over a day they finally gathered. The 18 knights each brought their own special life forms, the majestic formation of all sorts of special life forms in the darkness, flying towards the blood cloud palace door. The door opened wide. Countless beams of light flew past. Blood Cloud Palace, Main Palace. Black Sky Lord, Silver Dragon Knight and Ci Wu, the 3 pinnacle of the universe overlords were at the front. Behind them were 15 special life forms that either had the strength of a universe overlord or an upper-level knight. Behind them were hundreds of special life forms, and at the very back were thousands of Sector Lord special life forms. We greet the Master. Black Sky Lord and the other 2 pinnacle overlords knelt down. We greet the Master. The black mass of thousands of special life forms behind all knelt down respectfully. And in the blood-colored throne of the main palace, the blood cloud leader sat high above, gazing below. LuoFeng sat in his throne, gazing down at the black mass of peculiar life forms kneeling below. These thousands of peculiar life forms' eyes were filled with excitement, worship. This made LuoFeng immediately realize, these seemingly powerful and rare peculiar life forms had a tragic point. They were just too weak. Because of their extremely high life forms, natural talents and techniques, they lured the trillions of races in the universe to attack and enslave or steal them. If a group of peculiar life forms didn't have a powerful protector, then they would very quickly be ripped apart by the trillions of races in the universe. Devoured. Back then the blood cloud leader roamed the universe. Back then the number of peculiar life forms wasn't small. When he saw some of them being killed, he felt pity and saved group after group of them. Finally they gathered together to form these thousands of peculiar life forms. After countless years of growth, with the Mountain Guest's guidance, the Black Sky Lord, Silverhorn Knight and Ci Wu, these pinnacle overlords were born. If it was back then they too would have been hunted down. Of course, after countless years, the peculiar life forms without protectors had long vanished from the universe's history. Hence, the ancient beings like the Primal Chaos City Leader etc. had quite a few peculiar life forms. However, as time went on and it reached LuoFeng's era, it was too difficult to find another life form to steal. Mountain Guest protects them and guides them, just like their father. LuoFeng thought, No wonder they all call him master, yet respect and worship him from the bottom of their hearts. From today onwards, I am the Blood Cloud Hall Master. Although I have gained such a powerful force, I also have another responsibility in addition to the earth. LuoFeng thought. This was indeed a force that made the universe powers envious. 3 pinnacle overlords. Especially the Black Sky Lord, his god energy purity was close to 100 times stronger than Tianheng's. Even with the same high-level armor, LuoFeng needed 2 levels of attack to achieve the same result as Tianheng's, and the Black Sky Lord's body was even more than 1,000,000 km tall. Its size was trillions of times that of Tianheng's body that was less than 10 m tall. Silverhorn Knight and Ci Wu, even though their bodies aren't as exaggerated, they aren't small either. With the 3 of them here, unless they encounter a Lord of the Universe, this special life-form force will be able to resist them. LuoFeng nodded to himself. Protecting such a power wasn't as difficult as protecting Earth. The special life forms had grown for countless years and had the ability to protect themselves. LuoFeng suddenly understood. Why were there so many precious materials, treasures and normal treasures in the treasury? After all, LuoFeng's future opponent would be a Universe Lord. Normal treasures would shatter in a Universe Lord level battle. Clearly these normal treasures weren't left for LuoFeng, but for these special life forms. Black Sky. LuoFeng said. Master. Black Sky Lord said honestly. The 18 of you tell me your treasures. LuoFeng gazed below. Yes, I have a high-grade treasure armor and 6 high-grade treasure divine hammers. Black Sky Lord laughed. Master, are you going to bestow me with a peak-grade treasure armor? Last time you even said that the next time you would think of a way to get me a top-grade armor treasure. You said that if I had a top-grade armor treasure, even the Lord of the Universe would have a hard time killing me. LuoFeng was shocked. A top-grade treasure armor? The treasury his teacher left him only had over 100 normal treasures. Teacher Mountain Passenger is too sinister. Now that I've inherited the position of Blood Cloud Leader, the responsibility of giving the strongest under me treasures is on my shoulders. LuoFeng cursed within, but there was nothing he could do. I'm thinking of a way. A top-grade armor treasure isn't easy to get. LuoFeng said. Yes, however Master will definitely be able to do it. Black Sky Lord said. Next. LuoFeng ordered. Silver Dragon Knight, Thorn Crow Demon Leader and the others all reported their treasures. LuoFeng realized that these 18 knights all had treasures, and they were obviously chosen according to their strength. Like the 3 top Universe Lords, they all had high-level treasures and each had several of them. LuoFeng, who originally planned on giving them treasures, gave up on that idea. In the end he only gave a few undying life forms and treasures, and the meeting ended. This is a power. Even though I have the responsibility of leading and protecting them, they can help me with many things too. LuoFeng thought, in the future my Earth bloodline will naturally be protected by me. Black Sky Lord and his group of aberrations should be able to complement the Earth bloodline. That day LuoFeng ordered the aberrations to leave. He also sent an order to Black Sky Lord, Silver Dragon Knight and Thorn Crow Demon Leader. Black Sky, Silver Dragon and Thorn Crow, I'm going out for a while. I'll leave the matters of the children in the ancient Qin region to you guys. If there's anything you guys can't handle, inform me. Yes. Yes, Master. The 3 replied through their tags. That day the golden horned beast quietly returned to the human territory, back to the god country. From then on LuoFeng's life was split into 2 parts. One was the golden horned beast studying the star tower using the engravings, the other was his earth body training on Cerseus Island. The earth body first started training the 8th level of the 9-level secret manual. The advantage of having a small god body was that it trained extremely quickly. In a year's time, LuoFeng completed the 8th level. His life genetic level grew from about 9,800 times to about 10,050 times. This was purely LuoFeng's estimation. Following which, LuoFeng continued training the 9th level of the 9 level. During the training his life genetic level grew extremely slowly, especially when he was halfway through the 9th level. Suddenly his life genetic level got stuck. It stopped when it was just a sliver away from the perfect gene. No matter how much the 9-level secret manual trained, his life genetic level didn't increase at all. Just a little bit more. The Netherworld Ocean clone and the Golden Horn Beast clone have both reached the perfect gene level, but my Earth body is only a sliver away from the perfect gene level. Why is it that halfway through the 9th level of the 9 Calamities manual, it's useless? LuoFeng was anxious. It was useless. No matter how much his training progressed, his life genetic level stagnated. Just a little bit more, what do you want me to do? The 3rd year on Cerseus Island. LuoFeng sat cross-legged on a stone bridge beside a pond in his mansion's courtyard. At this moment he finally reached the final step of the 9-level secret manual. Regardless of whether it was the Golden Horn Beast or the Serene Sea clone, they had both attained perfect genes before even reaching the end. The Earth deity was the first to complete the 9 Calamities secret manual. Hua hua. LuoFeng sat there, but his entire body made the sound of the surging ocean. At the same time, his skin started to emit golden threads, and a huge mysterious and complicated engraving appeared on his body. If LuoFeng's entire skin was peeled off, the engraving formed. Although it was different from the engraving formed by the words of the 9-level secret manual, the concept was the same. Feng? LuoFeng felt that his life source had a fundamental breakthrough, as though he had broken through a bottleneck. His life genetic level finally took another small step forward. It was just a small step, but it represented a fundamental breakthrough. I broke through. I broke through. LuoFeng's eyes were filled with joy. I have to go back to the god country. LuoFeng clearly felt that his god body was trying to absorb energy to grow, but there wasn't enough energy to absorb on cerseus Island. He immediately teleported to the god country and quickly left cerseus Island. In the god country, the endless tranquil sea stirred up huge waves that were hundreds of kilometers in height. Above the waves, a black-haired young man was standing naked in midair. Countless amounts of seawater surged up from below, wrapping around this black-haired young man like countless ribbons. They were constantly being absorbed by him. The black-haired youth began to grow bigger and bigger. From less than 2 meters tall, he began to rapidly grow taller and taller. 10 meters, 100 meters, 1,000 meters. The god's power in his god body also continued to increase, increasing by more than 1 trillion times. It had reached an incomparably turbulent and terrifying level. When he became a towering 90,000 kilometers tall, he finally stopped. My earth body and the golden horned beast will be my 2 main forces. LuoFeng smiled. Before, even though his earth body's purity was high, it was too small, causing him to be unable to unleash I am the universe. And now, in terms of body, his earth body was the same as the golden horned beast. Naturally he could unleash even more power. Like unleashing the universe lord's golden light, he didn't have to worry about using up too much of his body's energy. It's time to make a trip to Primal Chaos City. That mountain beheading blade is too weak for me. LuoFeng first headed to Primal Chaos City to acquire the mountain beheading blade and the large amounts of normal treasures he had hunted on Primal Planet. Along with the 20 treasures in the Blood Cloud Palace treasure room, he accumulated them all, along with his remaining treasure points. Only then did he exchange for a top-level treasure blade. Sad 9 Snow. The blade's original name was Sad 9 Snow, however LuoFeng named it the Blood Shadow Blade. Black Sky, Silver Dragon, Thorn Crow. The 100 treasures in the treasure room were left behind by my teacher for you special life forms. However, those punks still need a long time to grow. I'll temporarily take a portion, I'll definitely get them back in the future. LuoFeng felt the pressure too. The bug race, automaton race and demon race were all getting restless. The stronger he was, the better. With the pinnacle of treasures, the calamity armor, able to reach the 3rd level, weakening the enemy's attack by 1/100,000 tch, and a 90,000 kilometers long body, his natural survivability had reached a terrifying level. In a battle against a master of the universe, a high-level supreme treasure saber was clearly too weak. Leaving God Country and returning to Purple Thorn Island, the golden horned beast left from the engraving school, still studying the Star Pagoda engraving in God Country. LuoFeng's true body was quietly cultivating on cerseus Island, constantly increasing his understanding of the way of the beast god. After all, the more he understood about the way of the beast god, the better it would be for his attainments in the mysterious pattern school. 61 years passed in the blink of an eye. On bohina Island. Look, LuoFeng has appeared and is flying towards the plaza in front of the island leader's palace. In one of the countless palaces on cerseus Island, 2 demon undying beings were chatting. However, their gazes were locked on LuoFeng, who was flying in the distance. They didn't dare miss anything. Their mission was to monitor LuoFeng's every movement. After a while, LuoFeng entered the fountain and vanished. Only then did the 2 demon undyings relax. Expression, smiling. War, silver armor. The 2 swiftly checked each other's situation and made a detailed report. It's been so many years, by now all the large powers of the universe know that our demon race, bug race and automaton race all want to kill LuoFeng. However, up till now there's been no movement at all. The demon with the green-gray turtle shell shook his head and said hoarsely, everyone says that LuoFeng has long reached the pinnacle of Universe Lord strength. If we don't make a move, when he breaks through to Universe Lord, it'll be too late for regrets. Don't blame the race, we can only blame LuoFeng for hiding on bohina Island. Our demon race, bug race and automaton race, what can we do? The black eye under the countless feathers stared at the distant plaza in front of the island leader's palace. However, it's weird, why is LuoFeng still at the 5th level of the beast god path? On bohina Island, the inheritors could challenge each other, the rankings were very clear. The 3rd level of the beast god path was all on the same list. The 4th level of the beast god path was all on the same list. And LuoFeng had entered the 5th level 62 years ago. Obviously he was training the 5th level of the beast god path. This seemed very strong, however the pinnacle of Universe Lord should at least be at the 7th level, right? Stupid. He's the 5th level of the beast god path, but do you even know what level his time-space path has reached? Who knows, he's almost at the limit, stepping into Universe Lord level. That makes sense, however he's been training for such a short time, how can his comprehension of the origin laws be so fast? Who knows, if it wasn't for his terrifying speed, the race wouldn't be in such a rush to get rid of him. Look, he's out. The 2 demon undying stared at the distant LuoFeng, continuing to observe his every movement. From the surface they might be able to deduce some important information. LuoFeng flew back to his residence. There are at least 100 inheritors watching me right now. LuoFeng grinned. This made the inheritors from the various powers of the universe immediately record down the times when LuoFeng revealed a smile. I feel like I'll be able to comprehend the entire 5th level in a year or 2. LuoFeng waited silently. Back then, it only took him half a month to comprehend the 4th level, which represented the claw of the beast god. However, the fifth level of the Beast God path represented the Beast God's horn. It was even more profound and took up a lot more time. As studying it required a lot of time, LuoFeng usually took 2 to 3 months to go to the inheritance grounds. 62 years had passed, and it was only then that he could vaguely sense that he was close to mastering the fifth Dan. And as his Beast God path continued to improve, it made it much easier for LuoFeng to create techniques through the engraving system. Even as he studied the Star Pagoda, he was inspired to create a Universe Lord Pinnacle technique and a Universe Overlord Ultimate technique. LuoFeng named them Golden Mountain and Heavy Mountain. Right now LuoFeng had decent techniques. He had the Universe Lord's Ultimate Golden Light, the Universe Lord's Pinnacle Golden Mountain, the Universe Overlord's Ultimate Misty Light and Heavy Mountain. Of course these were secondary. The most important thing was his study of the Star Pagoda. Even though he was inspired to create 2 strong techniques, the Star Pagoda LuoFeng could only activate the most basic first-level engravings. As for the second level, he had already understood more than half of it. However, he still needed a period of time before he could activate the second level. Right now the Star Pagoda, I only know one attack, Pierce. As for the other, Smash, I'm afraid I'll need to completely comprehend the second level of the engravings before I can unleash its power. I reckon it'll take a few more years. LuoFeng swiftly rushed down from mid-air, landing in his own mansion and continuing his peaceful life. LuoFeng knew too. This was the calm before the storm. The human race was constantly concerned about LuoFeng's movements. Luckily this LuoFeng has always been on Cerseus Island, it's very safe. Primal Chaos. Why did you let him out back then? If you left him in Primal Chaos City, wouldn't that be the safest? After all, he could still encounter great danger outside the human territory. Even though the Ancestral God sect is very powerful, the Bug race, Monster race, Automaton race, and the Northern Border Alliance all have strong warriors in the Ancestral God sect. Once they join forces, they can definitely find a way to deal with LuoFeng. When he wanted to go out back then, I naturally wouldn't stop him. He has a soul treasure and his willpower is extremely strong. Even if he encounters a crisis he can't resist, he can still self-destruct. With his talent and clone ability, there's nothing to be afraid of. The Dragon Leader and the Primal Chaos City Leader discussed. The Dragon Leader's worries were not wrong. Because LuoFeng had always been on Cerseus Island, the Bug race, Monster race and Automaton race were anxious. They didn't dare to send a Universe Lord over. Once they did, they would definitely be attacked by the 5-color Aurora Lake and annihilated. It wasn't worth losing a Universe Lord just to kill someone who could become a Primal Chaos City Leader. Damn. This human LuoFeng, is he planning to stay on Cerseus Island forever? He's been on Cerseus Island for so long and he hasn't done anything else. What he lacks now is cultivation. He must be trying to cultivate and meditate on Cerseus Island. He has such combat power, but his Tao of the Beast God isn't very profound. Then he must be almost perfect in the Tao of space and time, so he's practicing the Tao of the Beast God as a reference. Different Taoists can learn from each other, and maybe he'll finally make a breakthrough. We can't waste time like this. The longer we wait, the better it will be for LuoFeng. The top 3 races were anxious. They wanted to wait for LuoFeng to leave Cerseus Island, but it seemed that he wouldn't leave at all. It had already been 62 years. How could he delay any longer? In the vast universe in a starry sky. 3 thoughts passed through the endless distance and landed in the starry sky. 3 lofty figures could be vaguely seen. One of them was a beautiful and graceful figure surrounded by endless light. Just looking at her figure was enough to enchant a universe venerable. A gigantic, oval-shaped, black sphere shadow was floating in another place. The last figure was surrounded by thousands of vague snake shadows. A huge silver-white snake head looked around, and the starry sky around it was completely twisted into a vortex. Dream Tea, where's Jinjiao? The huge black sphere asked. We're monsters. I can handle it. The silver-white snake head also said. Their voices were instantly transmitted to the other 2 parties. It seemed that the rule that the speed of light was the limit of the original universe didn't apply to them. Machine, you summon the monsters and the Zerg. Now that the Zerg Queen and I are here, it's time to talk. Machines speak. The faintly discernible figure also spoke. Okay. The black sphere said, a little guy named LuoFeng has appeared in the human race under the protection of Giant Axe. His strength is improving very fast, and he's been staying on Cerseus Island. If we let him go on like this, the human race will have one more powerful existence in the future. He also has the talent to create doppelgangers. It'll be difficult for us to kill him in the future. We must get rid of him as soon as possible. Of course we must get rid of him as soon as possible, the slim figure said, her voice filled with endless charm. But how? That's the core of the Ancestral God sect. The territory controlled by the ultimate treasure, the 5-color lake, can't be entered without the permission of the Ancestral God sect. Once the treasure is activated to attack, even the Universe Lord will die. And it's not just about the death of the Universe Lord. Trespassing into the core area of the Ancestral God sect is against the rules. That's provoking the Ancestral God sect. The consequences of provoking the Ancestral God sect will be more severe than having another Primal Chaos City leader. At least in the original universe, the Ancestral God sect is the guardian of the universe's rules. No one can beat it. I agree with the Queen. Our monster race wants to get rid of them as soon as possible, but how? The Silver Snakehead said. Our 3 races don't want to be enemies with the Ancestral God sect, but can't we just ask the lone traveler, the strongest in the universe? the black sphere said. We're worried because we have things to worry about. But those few lone travelers aren't afraid at all. The ancestral god sect can't do anything to them, and they have nothing to worry about. Naturally, they dare to trespass into the core area of the ancestral god sect. Even if they kill LuoFeng, what can the ancestral god sect do? The strongest lone traveler in the universe? The silhouette and the silver snake had hesitated. That price won't be small, the silhouette said. To get the strongest lone traveler to the core area of the ancestral god sect to kill the absolute geniuses of humanity. This will offend the ancestral god sect and incur the hatred of huge acts. Even though those lone travelers don't care. The moment they are invited, the price will definitely be high. The silver snake had said. Each of you give me 3 top treasures. I'll invite them. The black sphere said. 3 top treasures? The silhouette and the silver snake had hesitated. Following which, the silhouette said, even if your automaton race gives me 3 more, a total of 9 treasures, that's equivalent to 1 pinnacle treasure. 1 pinnacle treasure. To invite a lone traveler strongest in the universe to do such a thing, that's not easy. Were you inviting? Mountain guest? Shihua Island leader? No need to ask any further. Each of you give me 3 top treasures and I'll invite the strongest in the universe. If I can't invite him, then I'll return them. I won't go so far as to cheat you out of these 3 treasures. Alright, I agree. 3 treasures to get rid of the human LuoFeng, I'll agree too. The silhouette and the silver snake had said. Very good. That huge oval black sphere immediately vanished. Following which, the silhouette and the countless silhouettes and the silver snake had all vanished. The starry sky returned to its previous tranquility. Who would have known that the 3 strongest beings of the universe had once conversed here?